So you're thinking about studying in Australia. That's awesome. But before you dive into that big Subclass 500 visa application, hold on. The things you do before you even start can literally make or break your entire journey. Let's walk through what you have to get right from the very beginning. And it doesn't matter if you're planning your big move from overseas or if you're already here in Australia on a different visa and looking to switch, this is for you. Because here's the secret, the real work doesn't start with the form itself, it starts with the prep work. Nailing these first few things can save you a ton of stress, avoid frustrating delays, and even prevent an outright rejection. So, let's get you ready. First up, and this one is huge, is the race against time. Seriously, when you apply is just as important as how you apply. And, the advice actually changes depending on where you are. Okay, so look at the difference here. If you're outside Australia, the advice is pretty chill, right? Just apply with enough time. But if you're already in the country, whoa, the tone changes completely. It's a direct warning. Do not wait until the last day. So why the sudden urgency? Well, this is exactly why. This isn't just friendly advice. It's a quote straight from the Department of Home Affairs. We may not always be able to help you. Let that sink in. If you leave it too late and something goes wrong, you could find yourself without a valid visa. And that's a situation you really, really want to avoid. So you're probably asking, well, how much time is enough time? The government does have an online tool, the Visa Processing Time Guide, and it's a great place to start. But, and this is the important part, it is only a guide. It shows you what happened in the past, not what's guaranteed to happen for you. So my advice, always give yourself a buffer. All right, let's move on to our second major point, the health examination. This can be a real bottleneck for a lot of people, but only if you don't get ahead of it. Yeah, depending on a few things, like where you're from or what you're planning to study, there's a good chance you'll need a health checkup. And it has to be with a specific government-approved doctor. It's a pretty standard part of the process for many applicants. But what if I told you there's a way to get this whole thing sorted before your application clock even starts ticking? A way to just remove that potential delay from the equation entirely. Well, here it is. This is the pro tip. You can actually schedule and finish your health exams before you even hit submit on your visa application. The department's website has all the info on how to do it. It's a game changer for getting things done smoothly. Okay, next up is something that sounds so basic, but believe me, it trips up more people than you'd think. Let's talk about the absolute foundation of your application, your passport. The rule here is super simple, and there are zero exceptions. You cannot even start a student visa application unless you have a valid passport. And that goes for every single family member you're including too. No valid passport, no application. It's that black and white. And hey, for those of you who are already in Australia, listen up. This is critical. If you look at your passport and see that the expiry date is getting close, you have to get it renewed before you apply for the student visa. Don't think you can sort it out later. This comes first. Now look, this whole process can feel a bit overwhelming, and it's totally normal to want some help. But, and this is a big but, you have to be incredibly careful about who you get that help from. Not everyone offering advice is actually allowed to give it. Australian law is really, really strict about this. Legally, only 3 types of professionals can give you immigration assistance. We're talking a registered migration agent, a legal practitioner, or what's called an exempt person. If anyone else offers to handle your application for money, that's a huge red flag. They're likely breaking the law, and that could put your entire visa application in jeopardy. And this is a really important distinction to understand. You can definitely ask a friend or a family member to receive mail and emails for you, but what they absolutely cannot do is give you immigration advice. That's a totally different thing, and mixing those two up can lead to some serious problems. Phew! Okay. We have covered a lot of really important ground. So let's boil it all down into a simple, straightforward checklist. Think of it as your pre-application game plan. Just remember these 4 things. 1, check those processing times and then add some extra time on top just in case. 2, get your health exams sorted out early so it's not a bottleneck. 3, make sure your passport is valid with plenty of time to spare. And 4, only get help from someone who is legally authorized to give it. Got it? Getting these 4 things right puts you back in the driver's seat. It turns what could be a super stressful process into something you can totally manage.
So the only question left is, now that you know the critical first steps, what's your next move?